Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Micks, Mowers, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the Titan combi tool I've got. I've only got one attachment for it. I picked it up from brand new. The bloke had it and used it once since he'd installed it in his garage for a year. I've had it running, I've tuned the carburetor up and it runs absolutely sweet as a nut, but then you can go use it half hour later and it plays up a little bit. I'll show what it's doing. But I have recently picked up a new carburetor for it, which is just here. It's not the exact carburetor for it, but it's one of those one fits all jobs, so hopefully it will fit and won't have no problems installing it. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty. Let's fire this Titan hedge cutter up and then we'll try and change this carburetor to see if it works any better. Come on. Right, here's the Titan hedge cutter. I haven't fired this up for about 3 days now, give or take. I have used it 2 or 3 times, but it is mucking about a touch. So turn it on, cold start up, give it some primes. Primes really well, and let's see what happens. What it's doing. So that's what it's doing. As soon as you try to give it the beans, it don't want to know, and it don't really want to know whether it's cold start, warm start, halfway, or anywhere. So I have got this carburetor, so I want to give that a fair chance and put the carb on. Just see if it improves it. Might have to tune the carburetor afterwards, but it's just not running as well as I would like. And it's a good tool, so you can buy the accessories for them relatively cheap second hand. It comes with a hedge cutter, which is brand new, and that's what I want it for, the hedge cutter. I've got the strimmer already, but I'm trying to downsize my equipment so that I'm actually using just one piece of kit rather than several. So the air filter's got a little bit of oil on it, which is red. I want a 10mm runner on there. 8mm it should be, sorry. Okay. So I hope this carb will fit. I need to make some minor adjustments, I think, because this has got 3 hoses coming out of it, not 2 is what my carb will be. But I'm not quite sure how I'm going to rig that up yet. That may take a bit of jiggery pokery. So I have tried tuning this carburetor to no avail. That could just be the diaphragms and gaskets want changing up on it. Come on. You get a magnet tray down, so I know where my bits are. A clean one would be preferable. So we've got an inlet and outlet. 1, 2, so we'll turn off a pipe, so that should be okay. And I'll remove this primer bulb at the back. That's going to become obsolete, but will be a good spare. That's it. That's now obsolete. And then I've then got 2 pipes for the carburetor. Now to remove the throttle assembly is a question of just tipping down the throttle and a pair of long snips. Just ease that cable forward. I just want to take it out of that little tiny recess it's sat in. A bit fiddly, especially my big fingers. There it goes. And lift it up. Like so. That's that. Want a 10mm spanner and an 8mm spanner. That'd be the 10. I want an 8 as well. Just to loosen that off. Mrs. Pear's studied at work yesterday, so she's come back on a half day, so that's cool. Right, that's the carburetor off. Now this is going to be a bit of a guessing game as to what pipe goes on what. So I'm guessing the inlet's going to be my thicker one. I'll put that on, then prime it. That should push fuel out if it primes. Yeah, that's pushing fuel back out. That's it. So that one then goes onto there, like so. That should then all reach on. I might have to reconnect it once I put it on. Yeah, got to re-put on the intake. Bit fiddly. Get a pedal on those pliers on the back of it just to push it all the way up. That's it. That's gone on. And as well. The only problem it comes is maybe when you go to prime it, you got to get in underneath that. Can I get in there to prime it? Yeah, I should say I should be able to. Just a different setup we're using now. So that should now prime, which it is. Happy with that. I've got to hook up the throttle now. That's not much different. So that comes with its own throttle assembly, which I want to take all that off. They always come with their own. I'll put my own one back on. Try and keep it all as original as you can. That should be okay. I'm a bit more slack if I can get it. Not a lot more, just a bit. Just so I can get that to sit inside. This may take a bit of fiddling, so I might have to come back, but you get the idea. Just want to fit that onto the carburetor housing itself. So let me go off camera. All I'm going to do is just literally, I might even bring it around on the outside if I can. Just want to screw that into the housing. Okay, so I managed to get it started. I had to put a long pair of long nose pliers on to hold the cable. That's starting to go in. So before I go any further, I want to hook up this this cable, which is just done by pushing it back, feeding the cable onto it. It only goes on one way. We can now, where's the adjuster for that? Just so I can, just for reference, I've got one there. I can get in with a screwdriver. Sorry for my head being in the way. Yeah, just the one, which I can get in with a screwdriver right in there, which is lovely. I've generally set about 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 turns each on each setting. That can go onto there, and that's going to choke that lovely. Just a slightly bigger bore, but it should be fine. And that had a slightly smaller washer, I believe. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It had a smaller washer that side, and then it had a bigger washer on there, followed by the spring, all the other way around. Can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think it's essential, but I think the spring goes on first. If I can get that off. I'll get my 8mm nut runner. On that one on. And again, I put a bit of cotton in the bottom of my runner, just have a nut sits near, very proud at the front for my chainsaw stuff. I'll get to a primer underneath. That goes on nice and tight. Yeah, and a choke. Air filter's on. Make sure the throttle works. Yeah, that works. That goes on. The only thing I haven't checked is the fuel lines actually on the carburetor on 2. I might have split 1 or 2, but that will become more relevant when I prime it once the system is sealed. But do a tank up. Let's have a quick look at the fuel lines inside. Yeah, they're okay. I've got a fuel line with a filter, and I've got a fuel line for a turn. And now when I prime that, yeah, that's priming lovely as it should. I hope it's ran the right way. Right, I think we're done. That didn't take long. Took 4 minutes. That was good. Right, hopefully it'll run. I've got a spare primer bulb for one, which is always handy to have. And that carburetor, I believe, is not absolutely US. I think it needs new diaphragms, so I should keep that in that box. And I may pick up some diaphragms for it, just for future reference. That'd be a good spare to have. Right, let's take it outside, give it a fire up, and we'll see what happens. And hopefully, maybe with a little tune. What tune does it want? It wants a flat-headed screwdriver. Maybe a little tune. It should run okay. So I'm just putting the attachment on. When I go to start this up, I want it so that I can actually fully tune it with the attachment on. That's if it runs, of course. Okay, let's have a look then. Turn it on. Cold start. Give it some primes. And let's see what happens with this new carb. That's fixed. Okay, super happy. That carburetor cost, I think, £6. It wants a little bit of a tune just on me tick over on the idle. Just want to screw backing off ever so slightly because the blaze is still running when you leave it idling, and it shouldn't do. So I just want to just back off just ever so slightly, not just a touch. If that leave it done on the screw or the cable, but that's just fine tuning. But the pickup on itself at high res, that's absolutely fine. I may tweak it after it's been running for a little while once it's sort of running a bit more, but super happy. Now I can now go ahead and purchase the strimmer attachment, the extension attachment, the chainsaw, the brush cutter, all that stuff. So then I've got a decent multi-tool, and it's only been used once, and the bloke promised me that. So pretty much a brand new bit of kit, and you get them from, I think, Screwfix or somewhere along that line. I think they go for around about £160 to £180, somewhere in there. fixed. Okay, super happy. That carburetor cost, I think, £6. It wants a little bit of a tune just on me tick over on the idle. Just want to screw backing off ever so slightly because the blades are still running when you leave it idling, and it shouldn't do. So I just want to just back off just ever so slightly, not just a touch. If that leave it done on the screw or on the cable, but that's just fine tuning.